Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Primas and Prima. uh, I'm Clari,
And I'm Kristi.
and this is Dear
Dear
Primas.
Primas.
So, hello, guys, again.
Look,
Welcome
they
back.
understand. They understand at this
I
point.
think so. There's no need to call it out because,
No.
you know,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of, we have a lot of stuff in there that I'm sure if you really miss us that bad, guys, y'all can go back and watch our 52 episodes that we have
Yep.
out there in the world.
We're on YouTube, Apple for the audio girlies that want to listen. We're on Apple and Spotify. And if you want to watch, then we're on YouTube. I was looking last week, maybe a couple of days ago. We'll just round it up to last week on our most viewed one. And it was the Getting Ready with Me.
I think but again, but I feel like that is like clicky, yes, but also like the longevity of the duration of people watching, because I feel like Get Ready
That's
With
true.
Me is very clickable. Like it's a
Yeah.
very search topic.
Right.
It's a very but it was also a very, very fun one. And we could do an updated one.
Yeah.
Virtually Get Ready With Me.
Virtually or in person because, we need some playa time.
I know. Well, speaking of Santi's birthday is it's April 12th. It falls on a Sunday. It's literally a week after Easter. And so that's been a big topic of conversation of like, what the heck are we going to do for his birthday?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you come to a decision yet?
I feel like it's like 90% stay here just because we still have their 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Logistically, it's just harder.
Makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, to do that. But it's also sad because I'm like, it's his first birthday. Like, just spending it with family and loved ones. Like,
Yeah.
he won't remember it, no, but he's gonna look back and adding more trauma to this child. He's gonna be like, wow, y'all just really left all the family. Y'all just had no regard. So it's been like when I say big topic of conversation, I just mean it's been like a big thing, but we've only talked about it like maybe 2-3 times. And
yeah.
we just, we go back and forth, and I'm just like, I just need to know because I just need to make terms with it. And we haven't been out here long enough to build like a huge community to have,
Right. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Like it would just be us. So, but I mean, which again, he's one. But all that to be said, if you want to come for, my mom and sister are coming next week.
Okay.
And so it's hard because then my dad has knees. So literally like they come just for like Thursday to Sunday, and then Monday my dad has his second knee, his other knee replacement. Yeah, it's just one thing after another.
Next week.
So my mom comes on, and Vet'll come on March 5th, I think, whatever that Thursday is, and then they leave that Sunday, and then which is I think March 9th is a Monday. And that's when he has his surgery. So he will be out of commission for a while. So it's like they won't be able to make the trip. And my mom, will be
not in April.
tending to him. So, so they're out of the question. And then like Nacho and Jenny, they're going to come Memorial Day weekend for sure.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then like his parents also come like March 18th, I think, for a week. So everybody's like coming before or like after. So I'm like,
You can celebrate him multiple times while they're there,
Yeah. So that's that. So, April 12th is open. It's getting nice and sunny and warm out here already. We just have like a couple cold, windy days like this past week, but the sun was still out, so it still like felt good during the day. But yeah,
for the most part,
yes,
on the up and up. What else? Okay, I want to hear why you have this bolted.
Wow, that's the only reason why.
I was literally like, what in the world? Are we talking about the same person?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like her fault. It's just crazy. It's this world of these people and everything that's so okay. So we're just kept skipping your update. Are we not updating?
I mean, there's no update. Update is over.
I still have kids. They're still super busy. The end.
Look, I honestly hate whenever I used to talk to people and they'd be like, I'm so busy. I don't want that to be a thing. I will always make time for whatever needs to be done if you just tell me. But we really do have like something every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, no update here. We're just,
Well, what is hold
on
on,
to the
what is
next.
this whole, like, how's Bella's sleep schedule? Because I think I have something
Oh,
to share with that too, kind of.
well, the
Or
thing with that is, so we make it a big deal to cuddle with them before they go upstairs to bed, all of them. And John's always been like that. Now, when Bella was sleeping good and we would lay her down, we would go, one of us, whoever would lay Bella down that night, would go into the boys' room and just kind of like talk about them because they share a room. We would sit on one of their beds and then we would go to the other one. And since Bella has not been put down to her room, I'm going to blame John. She has now made it a stationary bed out of the couch little bed thing that you
Yeah.
made. So she's right next to us on the floor. And she'll make John like hold a hand. And of course, that's like our time to watch movies or to watch
Yeah.
shows.
I was about to say
So she
it's
doesn't get actually down to sleep until we turn off the TV. But I
mhm.
mean, we're trying to turn it off before 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's there. She's a companion on the side of our bed on the floor.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
No,
because she
because like
loses her shit when we take her upstairs.
yeah, because we were going through, like, not like that with Antonio, but, like, he was waking up at, like, 6 AM,
Mm,
like, nuts, like, like, at 6
yeah,
AM, 5:45, like, ready to party,
yeah.
ready to go to town, and just, like and the sun is, like, barely coming up. He's like, "I see the sun! I see the sun!" And he's just like, that means it's time to go. It's
Yeah.
go time. And there was, like, this was, like 5:45 was, like, the earliest that he was, like, ready to go, but normally it was, like, 6 AM on the dot,
Yeah.
6:05, 6 AM, like, it was nuts, and we were exhausted, and I'm still a night owl. I feel like because like, you just saying how, like, having her in your room, like, that's your decompression time.
Mhm,
Now, I
mhm.
am at home with them the whole time, so that's really my decompression
Right,
time whenever
right.
they I'm like, "All right, it's time for bed. Go, go,
Yeah,
go."
yeah.
Um, and
Skedaddle.
yeah, and so, of course, his bedtime's always been, pretty good, like 8, 8:30, both of them. And Santi's like 8 o'clock, he's ready. He's ready,
Yeah,
ready. And he's fine. So he finally got to sleeping through the night, like 10 months old, like one week of full, like, all right, he didn't even cry. Like, we're doing this. He's great. And then Antonio starts waking up at 6 AM. And I'm like, fuck. Like,
yeah,
literally, internally, mentally breaking down. And I'm like, I just have no more to give.
yeah,
Now, I will say Adrian's the one that gets up usually and, like, entertains him, and now we have we have to go walk the dogs. He walks the dogs. So he was doing that, and that one 5:45 AM morning, and I'm like, "This is insane." Like, we have to put him back, and that was the other thing too, like, putting him back in the room, and then if he's gonna cry about it or if he's gonna
He's
whine
waking
or
up Santi.
play, then he exactly.
Yeah.
So that one morning, after this was like day 4 of doing it, but that was the earliest, Adrian took him and the dogs. They're like, well, I guess we're doing this. We're going and starting. They were like on a 2-hour walk, literally like gone for 2 hours. They didn't get home till like 7:45. And I was so mad because I'm like, you're rewarding the behavior. Like, yes, you
Yeah.
want to like, all right, it is what it is, but also he's like, it's okay to be up this early. That was my train of
Right,
thought.
right, right.
Not saying that that's literally what happening, but that's how my brain took it because I'm like,
Yeah,
we as parents cannot allow this to happen. Like,
yeah.
it's hard, it's like a whole thing. Like, and then Adrian decided to start doing the whole cuddle thing too. Like, we'd never done that. Antonio's always been the like lay down, read your book, bye, and
Yeah,
that's always been a thing.
yeah.
And I think now that Adrian was going to the office more and he's not, having all this
Seeing
much
all the
time,
time,
he
yeah.
wants those like moments.
Moments, yeah.
And
That
so,
makes
and
sense.
then I also told him, I was like, because he was woke up crying a few times and like he wouldn't want to go back to his room, or he would be asking for Adrian, like, Dada, Dada. And I'm like, you did that. It's because of your cuddles. I'm doing everything I did, all the work that I've done to make them good, independent sleepers so that we can have our time. I can have my time. I just saw it just burning. So anyway, so needless to say, so what I did recently was get an alarm, like a time
Oh, yes, like a
the
hatch
li-
thing?
yes,
The
but
one that
it's
turns a color?
not.
Yeah,
Yes, it's just like this little star, and his name is Buddy. It came with the whole book, and like, but Antonio's that type of kid. Like, he's a rule follower for the
yeah.
most part. Like, he's just like, I don't know, like, he does well. Like, Santi, I'm knowing now, he's probably not going to be the same type of kid whatsoever. But we tell Antonio, this clock is red, 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 go to bed. Green means, all right, you're ready to start your day. So, and we also took off his nighttime pull-ups. We had been doing nighttime pulls, but he had been having so many accidents during the day that I'm like, maybe he's just like kind of getting, like getting used to the diaper again and just like, so I don't know. So we got rid of it and he hadn't been going at night. So he does wake up at like 6:30 and he's like, sometimes he'd be like, I say it's like 50-50. Sometimes he's like, I need a potty. And then like the other 50 is just like, I'm ready to party. And he will not go to the restroom until like 30-40 minutes of being awake.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm like, is that it? Partially, yes, no, I don't know. But anyway, so we got finally this clock and I'm like, okay, it came with the whole little story time for it and red, go to bed. And which bedtime he doesn't really fight it. Like, it's just a thing. But he's excited to see it red. And so now he wakes up. If he has to potty, he'll go potty. But if not, and then he goes right back to his bed and he waits for it to turn green.
Oh.
And so at first I started with like a 7. Oh, no. And then night one of having it so excited. He's all excited for Buddy his name is Buddy, to turn green. I'm excited to see if it works.
Right.
The freaking power goes out, like glitches in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. So there goes Buddy, not working, not. And so he wakes up at like 6:45 and he's like, Buddy, no work. Buddy's off. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Buddy lost power. Like, we're trying to explain how electricity works. And then he's so upset because he's like, he is not green. Like, what is happening? So I like try to program it, like, switch the time and make it seem like, it's green. So I'm like, okay, it's green. Now we can get up. Because he's like insistent. It needs to turn green.
Right.
But now after that, it's been working. So like these last few days, he's been waking up later, still 6:45. Going to potty today. He went back and I pushed back the time every morning. So first it was like 7, he's gonna turn green. Then 7:10, he's gonna turn green. Now today was 7:30 and I didn't believe him. He's like, he's green. And I swear it felt like it wasn't like 7:30 yet. And then I'm like,
I'm not ready for him to turn green.
Yeah. I'm like, he is green. All right. And but the thing is, he's so excited. He still wakes Santi up, but Santi will get his bottle and go back to sleep for another like hour or something, 2 hours. But yeah, so if anybody's having that kind of issue, try
look for Buddy.
Yeah, we'll try the little alarm, and it doesn't have an alarm. It can if you want it to, but it just turns the color. So that's been helpful because at least I can go back in bed and just like, or do whatever until I'm ready to be fully functioning. Right. Adrian still takes him for the morning walk.
That's always nice too.
Yeah, and so that's a whole thing. But yeah, like, are we overexerting the boy? Like, is he just in constant overtired mode? Because he does a lot. He walks a lot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that I just wanted to say if that was like maybe something that would possibly help, but I don't know. At this point, you just gotta let her go scream bloody murder. But
I know. Well, the thing is, we've tried, and John is like, okay, I can't do it after 5 minutes. Well, it feels like 15.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, it's not worth it. Let's just go get her and put the bed. But she is stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I probably said this about the boys too, but her cries are different because it was
that's
John.
Santi, 1,000,000%. It's Santi. Yeah.
Well, what she does is she'll be like, Daddy, come back. And he's like, did you hear that? She's calling. And I was like, yeah, because you're the schmuck. She knows that you're going to be the one. But I mean, it is pretty sad to hear how they.
No, Santi screams like bloody murder. Like somebody is banging his head against something.
Yeah,
I'm like, people are going to think that we're abusing these children in here. Like, it's insane. But all that to say, on the topic of kids, so recently so there was like this, I don't know if it was just one, but for sure, like, it took off. This one person this one girl took it to TikTok and made a video about how she hates when her favorite influencers get pregnant and start having kids because they make it their whole personality,
Okay.
And so, of course, and this is a woman, a girl who has decided that she doesn't want to have kids. Like, she's not even like married or anything from like the minimal research I did. She's just like late 20s, early 30s person who has decided I don't want kids. Kids are not for
Right.
me.
Right.
But is making it a big deal about, like, first of all, they make it their whole personality, so their whole content shifts, which Whitney has not done that. Like, she's just pregnant and working out. She'll post, like,
Right.
of course, it's part of her life. Like,
Yeah.
the content creators, they post their life. You know, that's their job, to post snippets of their life. So if they get pregnant, that's what they're gonna. It's gonna be in there regardless if
Mhm.
she's talking about it or not. Her pregnant belly is gonna be in the gym working out, which she
Yeah.
has been so consistent with the workouts that I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
excuses where,
Yeah.
but so she made it this big deal, first talking about that, and then was like, I have unfollowed her. And
Yeah.
then the other point was that, like, how can anybody in this, like, climate right now of the world, the state of the world,
Oh,
choose to
decide to
have
have
kids?
kids.
And that's, like, the next thing that's been, like, really big. I feel like people talk, like, on both sides. Like, people were, like, saying this, and then the other people were like, what are you even talking about?
Mm.
Because, first of all, when has there ever even been a perfect time in the world to have
Right.
kids?
Right.
And it was funny because one video was like talking about, like, the ones that are on this bandwagon of, like, how could you even have kids in the current state of the world are a lot of, I guess they're Gen Zs, maybe, the ones that were
Mhm.
born literally right after, like, 9/11. So
Yeah.
it's like, what if your parents had this frame of thought? You wouldn't even be in the world. You know, if
Mhm.
that was, like, a valid talking point of, like,
Right.
let's stop having kids because the world is just, like, in turmoil, which, yeah, it is some crazy stuff happening, right? But, like, when has there not been, unfortunately, in
Yeah.
history? Like, there's
Yeah.
always an excuse to not have kids. But at the end
Right.
of the day, it's a personal choice. And
Mhm.
you can only hope that good people are having kids and trying to raise better humans and
Right.
eventually, you know, in
Yeah.
certain cycles. And there's a lot of people that have done so many great things in the world that had their parents not had that frame of thought, like, they
Right.
probably wouldn't be around either. So it was just, like, something that's just, like, so crazy how people just have so much opinions on people having kids. But yeah, for
Mhm.
her, like, she's literally the most unproblematic,
That's so
like,
sad.
influencer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she sees these things and
Yeah.
she's like, I think she wrote a comment. I don't know if it was to that video or to another, like, video, or she wrote, there was a screenshot that I couldn't find it anymore, that she had like, responded and was just like, I've done my best to not
Mhm.
shift my content, like, but to attack her over,
Right.
and I think she said something like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm, like, a 30
Right.
whatever year old who has been with my partner husband for, like, over 10 years, married, and
Yeah.
now we're choosing to grow our family." Like, what? Like,
Right. Who are
and
you
just,
to say
yeah.
otherwise?
Yeah.
That stinks. I
And
love
so,
Whitney Simmons. I
me too.
absolutely love I mean, I still even although, like, I wish, um I remember I think we talked about this before when I was pregnant, I wish I would have followed more influencers that were pregnant to see
Mhm.
what they're working out, how they're working out, and maybe that would have given me like okay, yeah, I see how they do that type of move. Maybe I can adjust it. Although she is
Yeah, she's just a badass.
lifted.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah. And then that's because she was, like, heavy lifting
already.
for
Right.
so many years
Right, right, right.
before. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have to remember too. There's another one that I follow. She's more recent. Well, not super recent, but for, like, TikTok years, I should say, which is really crazy to think. I was just thinking the other day, like, we're in 2026. It's been 6 years since COVID, and it still doesn't feel like 6 years. I don't know. It
Mm,
just is when you put it like we're almost, like, 10 years out. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But her name is
That sounds crazy.
Talia Scott. And her and her husband just had he's like, maybe he's about, like, Santi's age, I think. They're about 10, 11. He's about 10 or 11 months, but she's also, like, got super big into working out and all that, and worked out throughout her pregnancy. And, like, she's, of course, not, I don't want to say bounce back, but, like, like, it's just she continued her lifestyle with the working out and working out through
Mhm.
pregnancy. So the after made it, she had to, like, have an emergency C-section. And so she was,
Oh.
like, really nervous about all that. But I mean, like, you look at her body now and she looks, like, amazing because it was just, like, built into her lifestyle. But
Mhm.
she's another one that she's, like, super hilarious. They're funny. She has a
Following.
good, yeah. Um, But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I wanted to really segue into that, but I was just like, you haven't seen any of that happening on the TikTok?
I thought they were talking about a different Whitney Simmons, and then you know how, like, on TikTok, they'll show that, like,
Oh,
gray
yeah.
bar at the bottom of whatever movie it is, and I think I just kept swiping because I was like, "Surely they're not talking about the Whitney Simmons that
Yeah.
is so" I love her and is
Mhm.
likable. Okay, so what else?
Um, okay, so just rolling on the topic of children and
Mm,
making families and growing families and maybe completing families. That's been another thing I feel like I see a lot on TikTok of just moms talking about either like after they have chosen to stop having kids or like what that looks like for their families and like everybody's train of thought, and process of about talking about that. We've been talking about just, not having a third kid, but just like right now, just,
yeah.
what does that look like for us and how you can have a plan and there's so many external factors that play
Mhm,
into that
mhm.
decision. Um not the state of the world all the time, but
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
like, the state of your family, decisions, moving, all the things that affect that, and I just kinda wanted to talk about I don't know, I feel like it'd be, like, something that we haven't had, like, I feel like a good sit down, like, not I don't wanna say serious, but, like, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
topic that I think a lot of women and families and husbands and wives think about and talk about if you're having kids.
yeah.
Um I know a lot of the time, like, before we had kids or especially when we were pregnant with Antonio, like, all the advice comes out and all the
Mhm,
sayings come out, and
mhm.
I remember the 2 big things ones that I remember people saying is, 1, each kid determines if you're gonna have another kid. Like, she was, like, the more pessimistic, like, one, but, like, she was like, "If my 3rd one would've been my first, I would've been done," like,
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of and people say that, but sometimes it might be true, sometimes it's like, just like, "Wow, I'm
Right.
tired," right? And then the other one was like, well, you just have to think about, like, the experiences you want your kids to have and what you could provide for your kids.
Mhm,
So, like,
mhm.
what do you want to give them? What like, what do you the quality that you want your life that you want your kid to have,
Right,
and,
right.
what you wanna provide versus what you can provide. And as we know, kids are expensive and things that kids do are expensive.
Yep.
So that was like another thing. And I feel like that was like the more like realistic answer. And I think
Mhm.
I heard that twice from
Yeah,
2 different people. Um, so yeah, I just want to talk about like, because you have completed your family, like how that has been and,
yeah.
whether, yeah, just talk about it and get into that and do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, um, I feel like I always wanted a big family,
Hmm.
going into thinking about having kids, right? I always thought I wanted a big family because my thought process was like later down the line when they are older, I want them to always come back, and I want to feel like if the more I have, the more opportunities I have that they come back, type of thing.
Hmm.
But we really did. I mean, like when we had just John, I knew that I wanted someone to, uh, him to have someone, a sibling.
Hmm.
So we always knew, okay, for sure too. But I would say too, I thought it depended too on the pregnancies. Like I
True.
remember the second time around, the first time, obviously that was that case, but the second time I felt like I was more wary of like, okay, now I'm on month 2, making sure that I hit those weeks, and it becomes a little bit more monitoring the pregnancy and making sure I get to the finish line type of thing. So I can see how the pregnancy could also alter
Hmm. That's a good
a
point.
say in if you want more or
For
not.
sure.
Um, because I will say my pregnancies were, I enjoyed them.
Hmm.
I did not have the morning sickness, the crazy nausea. Did I say that right?
Nausea,
Not.
nausea, nausea,
I don't know. That sounds
nausea,
wrong.
nausea, nause no, wow. Nausea,
Well, we know I
nausea,
always make up
yeah.
words, so we're just gonna roll with it. But for sure with Bella, it was a big thing on the C-section.
Mhm,
I've really was in my head with it being the 3rd C-section, the 3rd time that I would go under, and not knowing. I also think I tried to avoid more hospital videos, whereas my first, I was like
mhm,
all for the hospital videos just to see what I was walking into. But then obviously it wasn't the planned way. Um, second and third, it was planned because it was C-sections. But the first time, I didn't know that you could choose C-section. It was just kind of chosen for me because of the emergency. But with Bella, I was really in my head of like, this could go really south if, something were to happen. And I think I started more thinking about what could go wrong and how scary a C-section is, I
For
guess.
sure.
So I just didn't think that that would be a good idea for our fourth. And because I was already going under and having the C-section, she was always questioning, is this your last? Are you wanting to have the tubes removed? Because it wasn't a tubes tying thing anymore. They remove them now, or she does the removal because it prevents cervical cancer.
Mm.
Or has a lower percentage of producing cervical cancer, something like that. So I took that route. So it's for
Yeah.
sure thing not happening. But I mean, do I ever question if it was a bad decision or not? I always think, like, I know the boys will always have friends. And if they ever, we will always recruit family member or not family members, but like friends over and have friends over to where it makes it feel like they're always welcome. I want to be that house type of. So that's the way I look at it
Yeah.
and the acceptance of that decision,
Yeah, for sure. Because I
the
feel like you just never,
finality.
yeah, you never, like, that's why one of the things was like forever baby fever because people always, I
Right.
mean, women, especially mothers and whatever, you always have, like, you get around a baby. And even like having
Mhm.
a 10-month-old, you see a little baby, like, oh, there's a little
Mhm.
baby. Like, it's just a
Mhm.
thing. Our friend Edith, like, they had their 3 kids before 30. And she's just like, I just have to deal with the fact that I have to love on other people's babies. Cause she's
Yeah.
like, I love babies,
Yeah.
but you also have like babies grow up and
Yep.
baby, like
Yep.
it's a thing. It's just like when people get puppies and puppies are so cute and then, they get bigger sometimes and they become
Yeah.
dogs, like
Yeah.
it's a cycle. And I think that's our maternal instinct too, is
Mhm.
to just like want to squeeze and take care of little bitty babies.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. It's like you just have to take your decision and kind of and sometimes the cards that you're dealt, right, that
Yeah.
are out of your control
Yep.
sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, and just like speaking on like the C-section and also what comes after, right, postpartum is just like getting your bodily autonomy back. I feel like
Yeah.
is a big thing.
Yeah.
So we've always said Adrian and I are both one of three, and so we've always said three is the number. But now being in this situation here, honestly, we're so spoiled now. Like, I'm super spoiled. I love this little condo. I love,
Yeah.
like, the life of just walking 2 blocks to the beach and, like, um, having everything so accessible to
Yeah.
us. And we talk about it. We're like, because he's like, I can be here for 15 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, and at that point, like, are the boys even gonna want to go to, a new neighborhood or whatever? Like, I don't know. And so
Yeah.
and then I'm like, wait, are you saying like this might be Santi might be our last one? Like, is that a possibility? Because
Right.
me, again, like thinking like, no, we're not ready now. Like, even
Right.
if we were to have the third, I
Yeah.
feel like in 2
Wasn't on the
years,
table. Yeah.
yeah, it would be like, all right, in 2 years in a perfect world, right, that's when we would start trying again.
Mhm.
I have this magic number in my head is I just wanna be done by 37. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I just don't wanna get pregnant past 37. One, we've had the luxury have had our kids, like, earlier, not super early because people do it
Yeah.
earlier, but, like, there's no need to, right, after the
Right.
fact.
Right.
Our bodies take a bigger toll the older that we get as women, everything gets
Mhm.
harder. And I'm just like, in my head, I just want to be done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we still have time to make that decision, of course, and where we will be in 2 years, who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it is like, it's just I would like catch myself looking at something, I'll just like tear up because I'm
Yeah.
like, are you like,
Right. Right.
because like
You
now
didn't appreciate the things that would have been his last.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, like,
Yeah.
I like, a lot of like, I remember I don't know, was it a I don't know if you said it or a caption was like, "Your first or our
Yeah.
last?" Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
god.
I
And
know.
so, like, that is crazy just
Yeah.
to, like you said, you're taking it all in. You're like,
Mhm.
"All right, she's sleeping in our room till she's 8 years old. I don't
Yeah.
care."
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
like, it's that's part of it too, like, she's your
Right,
last
right.
baby.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that's something that we've kind of been talking about. Like, we haven't said, like, for sure it's their
Yeah,
last one, but it's
yeah.
like, if it was, I will say it would suck because,
Mhm.
like you say, I didn't have a chance to take it all in.
Right,
And honestly, like, didn't deal with the 2 under 2 for, like, ever because they're
right.
21 months apart,
Yeah,
but, I mean,
yeah,
the whole pregnancy was just, like, focused just on Antonio, like,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like you're on survival mode then, and
Right.
then the newborn comes, and now I have this toddler who's, like, really needing attention, and
Yeah,
when they're newborns, thankfully, he was, like, a chill newborn, so he wasn't, like, super needy, he just needed to be fed, and he wanted to sleep, and he would just hang out, and
yeah,
so now I'm thinking back, and I'm like, I don't even remember you as, like, a newborn because it was just, like, go, 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 like,
yeah,
extra survival mode
yeah,
for myself, and then just,
yeah.
like, giving all the attention that I could to Antonio because he really needed it,
Mhm.
and it just that's, like, I think the biggest, like, con to the close age gap
Yeah,
because you don't get to just be in the newborn bubble, as they say,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
to an extent, like, yeah, we would our bubble was, me and him sleeping in while Adrian tackled Antonio in the morning, which still
Sure.
kinda happens,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's not the same,
Right, right.
and especially, like, him being home and he, not going to daycare, like, it was really just like, going, and I would look at
Yeah,
Santi, and he's, like, a whole ass grown boy, and I'm like, "Where did the
yeah,
time go?" It's
yeah.
crazy. So I do think I feel like, the first time goes by so fast, and I feel
Mhm.
like this second time went by even faster. Does their age gap have something to do with it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't
Right.
know. And it was funny because there was a time, I think, like, right before we got here that I was like, well, maybe after, like, if we do a little pause, maybe I could do another 2 under 2 real quick, like, just pop them out real quick, and then but then I'm like, "What? What? That would be insane." I don't
Yeah.
know. It'd be crazy to think about doing that. I feel like if we did wanna have more than 3, that would have to be the case,
Right, right,
not
right.
just because of my timeline, but just because I just feel like choosing my hard, and I guess that would be the hard that I would choose
Yeah.
because now you're extending the no sleep era.
Mhm, mhm.
And that's like that's always been my other thing, like, um, being in this yeah, like, hard like, no s not I don't wanna say no sleeping, but not the best quality sleep, and
Right,
then
right.
and diapers, and, like, being in that era of having your kids because like, I mean, you did start over, but not there wasn't, like, a huge enough gap. I'm talking about, like
Yeah,
an 8-year gap is
yeah,
nuts. That's
yeah.
wild.
You
That's
know what's
really
crazy is obviously, we meet a lot of people through the schools and stuff, and hearing people say, like, the gap sometimes, when, "Oh, my oldest is high school, they're graduating, and then my
yeah.
youngest is kindergarten, and I don't really, get along with any of the," or a person that I was thinking of just, was like, "I don't really wanna meet any new people because this is our last one, and we're kind of,
Yeah.
moving him along." But, yeah, it's that gap is I
I mean, our parents did it.
right, but also too, yeah, I Jessie knows she was an accident.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, she's loved,
Adrian
very
was.
loved it. But no, I was thinking like, okay, in middle school, high school, more so high school than anything, you know how I love being in bed by 9? In high school, there is no way that I'm gonna be in bed by 9 because their games are like 7 PM, 7:30, and we're traveling to go to this high school game. We're coming back at like 10:30, and then they gotta be up the next day. We're almost like starting back over once they get to
Yeah.
high school because it's like, why am I preparing myself to get in bed by 9 when these kids are gonna be up at all hours of the day or at all hours of the night because of these sports games?
Yeah. And
I don't know
they
why.
are a little bit more self-sufficient at that point,
Sure,
like,
that's
they
true, that's
don't
true.
require as much, like I mean, yeah, they'll be like, "Yeah,
That's
you
true.
need to get your butt in the shower," but it's not like,
Mhm.
so that you'll get a little alleviation on that. And that is,
That's
I
true,
guess,
that's true.
like, that age gap, like, a larger age gap, a 8-year age gap can help with that, but
Yep.
also, somebody I know, like, her daughter was 10 and she just had her son's, like, a few young months younger than Bella and Antonio, but she's like, "They still fight. They still fight
Mm.
like cats." Because at that point because she's like, "At this point, like, she's used to being my only one for 10
Mhm.
years." And yeah,
Yeah.
she's a 10-year-old and she's excited for her little baby brother, but she's having to share stuff. He's a baby. He'll go break her stuff, like,
Yeah.
she's like, "The fighting still happens."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's like, like, and she's like, and on top of that, I'm having to start all the way over, like, after,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's just like, choose your heart, just like everything else
Mhm.
in life. I don't know, but yeah, I think there's all those videos on TikTok, mom's experiences of like, what is the perfect age gap? Like, is there 2? Is there 3
Yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's a perfect one because it also depends on the kid, like,
Mhm.
that's a big
Mhm.
thing.
Yep.
Um, Now I do look forward to a day where they're running and chasing each other around and I'm not having to run and, like, be
Yeah.
their entertainment. They can entertain each other, which they'll have their spurts, but of course they're fighting because Santi don't know nothing. He just goes
Yeah.
and knocks. We call him Babyzilla, and Antonio thinks it's hilarious. Like he'll be building his magnets, and then here comes Santi, just blah blah blah, and it's funny because like Antonio was not like that as a baby. Like, even
Yeah.
being because he is the only child possibly, right? He's not seeing anything. He's just sheltered little perfect human being in a perfect little world because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
And then now we have Sandy who sees sometimes Antonio acting a fool, right? Like doing all the things. And so he wants to do all like I honestly think that's a big part. Besides their personalities, right, being different, but like how they say like, oh, that second one or oh, that third one,
Yeah.
like of course they're seeing like an influence in the
Mhm.
older kids because regardless of how like sweet and kind these kids are, they go through their stages of like
For sure.
craziness.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, Antonio's barely getting to be a little bit more daring and, like, daredevilish, but he's still, like, super cautious about it,
Yeah.
but he sees him being so active, so, Santi's like, "I can do it too," and
Right.
he's crazy, he's
Yeah.
absolutely nuts. I don't know, I just but, all that to say is, like, the perfect age gap, I don't know if it exists.
Yeah.
I think every age gap has its pros and cons, so um, but yeah, all that to say we don't know, like, if this will be the last one or not. I still think
Yeah.
I do want 3. Now,
Yeah.
of course, the question I know you got it a lot, and everybody that sees us with 2 boys, "Oh, you need to try for the girl," or, "Are you gonna try for the girl?" Which, of course, like, I feel like well, I don't know about every mom, but, most moms, I do feel like want a girl. Um would it I wouldn't be, like, devastated if
Right.
I
If you had all
didn't.
3 boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is what I know anyway,
Yeah.
like, let's do
Mhm.
it, we have all the
Mhm.
things," like, it's fun, I would be, like, not sad of the fact that it's not a girl, but, of course, as time goes on, be like, "Man," like,
Yeah.
what would she have looked
Right.
like? What would she have
Right,
been
right,
like? Would
right.
she have taken after, like, me? Would she like, things like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
um but I also, like, it's not like we need to try to have a
Mhm.
girl,
Mhm.
but I always tell Adrian, I was like, but I don't know if I've said it on the podcast before, but, like, you raise boys to become men and have their
Mhm.
families,
Mhm.
and you could only hope and pray that they come back and, I feel like I would be a great mother-in-law, great
Yeah.
suegra.
Yeah.
I don't have, like, that jealousy in my
Right.
bones, like, I'm not
Right.
ugly, I'm not gonna be ugly for no reason, you can't be. If you
Mhm.
want them to come back, you gotta treat them
Exactly.
right.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and so I'm like, you raise little boys to be men and start their families, and if you really wanna be super religious about it, like, God says to put your wife first, like, once
Mhm.
you get married,
Mhm.
your mom takes a back seat, and, like, that's what you want them that makes a man, in my opinion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um and so I'm like, but the girls always come back. The girls
Yeah.
always call mom. The girls like, like we
Yeah.
will, and of course, like the it's like a stigma that girls go through like that catty phase in like high
Mhm.
school and you fight with your
Mhm.
mom, blah, blah, blah. But then after that, it comes
Full
back
circle.
and
Yeah.
you go shopping and like
Yeah. Yeah.
just all the fun girl stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a part that of course would be not mourned, but, like, okay, like, yeah, that would be like, if it does or if it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
you'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that you're kinda missing out on that maybe," but, you still have a lot of other
Right.
stuff and maybe get
Right.
a granddaughter. But, I don't know, that's just, like, all, I think, the thoughts of
Yeah.
that, like, we have as women about
Yep.
yeah, I don't know, like, let's and
Yeah.
just getting your body like, I don't just getting your body back in general too,
That
like,
true.
being done, like
That too. And actually knowing that it's the last one and being like, "Okay, I can," not that you can and you weren't, but
yeah.
it's almost like a trick that you're playing on your own body, like, "Ha ha, just
Yeah.
kidding, we're pregnant again."
We're doing this again, we're
Yeah.
getting engorged again, we're gonna
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
like, all the things. Because of course, like, you're lending out your body to, like, 9 months for them to grow, and then after all whether you breastfeed or not, you still gotta go through all the changes, just
Mhm, mhm,
everything,
mhm.
everything, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, your body's not yours until not I don't say once you're done, but, like,
Right.
for
Right.
sure, like, after
Yeah.
2 years for sure that everything's kind of coming back, and then, yeah, you just go and get knocked up again.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Um,
You
yeah,
do
I
it to
don't
yourself.
yeah. But there was this I was telling Adrian there was this one video that's super viral, and she came across it now, like, she'll come across my For You page every now and then, and I kinda catch up with what's going on, but, so, like, the first video I saw and, TikTok they don't be playing, this algorithm is algorithming all the time, and so this first video I saw, she was like so, yeah, we're me and my husband, we have 2 kids, and she said their ages, I don't remember, and she was like, "But we've really been on the fence, like, do we wanna have a 3rd, or are we done? Like, we feel pretty complete, but we also feel like, yeah, we would want another one." Okay, that was, like fast forward to the next week. I just saw that, and I just for some reason, I sat there and I watched it.
Yeah. So
Oh,
fed
no,
you
no,
her
it wasn't
again.
the next week. I did it wasn't again. I just you scroll, scroll, scroll. A few videos down, it's the same person, and she's holding a pregnancy test. She's pregnant with twins.
Oh.
And she posted, like she was like, "The video of me saying if we wanna have" like, that was in my drafts. She's like, "And this is, like, 6 weeks later,
Oh.
and this is also" like, she was posting it was the videos were taken 6 weeks apart, but also they were both, like, super delayed in posting as well, so she was, like, already further
Okay, okay,
along
okay.
than, like
Yeah.
but she was like she was like, "I definitely cried and broke down." She's like, "Now we need a bigger car. We need a bigger,
Ugh.
this." Like, imagine going from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
I was like and she was like, "No, twins don't run in our families." Like,
Oh my gosh,
no
complete surprise.
yes,
Oy,
yes.
oy, oy.
And just craziness, and I'm like, "That is wild."
Yeah.
Like, another thing I feel like that people are always making videos on are, like, what is the hardest transition from 0 to
Oh, yeah,
1
yeah.
kids, 1 to 2, or 2 to 3. Um, clearly you have the more experience on that 'cause you're at the full-fledged 3. Um, I'll you want me to do mine before so you can
Yeah, yeah,
finish
you do
or
yours.
okay. So for me, 0 to 1 was, like, nothing. Antonio was, like, he was a great kid, all the things, but I also
Right.
felt like I had that time to, like, sit, prepare, do all the research, and I was so ready, and I feel like nothing was really a surprise because I just went down so many rabbit holes on TikTok University that I was, like, overly prepared, and I was just like, "Alright, we're doing this," and then I also had a lot of experience with kids, with all the nieces and nephews,
Right,
and
right.
so and he was, yeah, a great baby overall, so really didn't struggle there at all, and then from 1 to 2, I wouldn't say it was harder, but I even though it was, like, super close, I still felt like I felt more of, like, "What am I doing?" I think, with Santi, like, I was just like I feel like my brain forgot
Questioning everything?
I feel like my brain forgot everything from, like, the
Yeah.
newborn stage, like, even though I was so close, like, 2 years removed from it,
Right.
it just felt because I didn't have the time to, again, look back, "Oh, like, what are awake windows and sleep windows?" And,
Yeah,
just to have an
yeah.
idea, not that I've
Really? I feel
ever
like you were so prepared this with Santi. Like, you knew a lot of stuff that you were almost telling me, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah, I need to write that down."
no, that was with Antonio because we were pregnant with
Oh, yeah,
the same
duh.
yeah.
Wrong baby.
Yeah, you were not pregnant
Oh, yeah.
with so, yeah, I was super duper prepared with Antonio, and, like, I
Oh, okay,
remembered
okay, okay,
certain
yeah.
things with Santi, but I feel like I'm just, like, on, like I was so prepared for, like, the newborn baby stage that, like, the toddler years, just I didn't do a lot of I haven't done. I'd done a little bit
Yeah.
of, but it's just kinda like at this point, we're just rolling with it, but, like, I didn't have time to focus on, like, "Alright, let's revisit on,
Right.
the wake windows, the sleep like, what is average?" Because I even though I never followed, like, a true schedule, like, tight regimented one, there was still,
Mhm.
like, "Okay, after, like, an hour and a half, I think we should try to, like, put him down," and he just I don't know, I just felt more nervous, I think, and
Yeah.
also, like, we would talk about, I think, before was just, like, how is it gonna be, how is the baby
Mhm.
gonna be, and I think
Mhm.
that was hard. The Once he was here, you kinda just roll with it, and you just
Yeah.
trust your instincts, I guess, a little bit more, but I wouldn't say, like, 1 to 2 hasn't been super difficult. I think it's just, like, certain things are difficult, like their nap times and trying to get those to align.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, because now, yeah, you have 2 responsibilities instead of just 1.
Right.
But I wouldn't say 1 was harder than I guess 1 to 2 is obviously a little bit trickier,
Yeah.
because you're in my head because 'cause you're just managing 2 little lives.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say, like, because some people swear 1 to 2 took them out. Um, but I also think that is dependent on your partner,
I
like, are you
agree. I think that has a
getting the
lot to do with it.
help?
Right. Right.
Um,
Who's taking the brunt of most of
yeah.
the output that's, I guess,
Yeah,
happening?
which in my case, I feel like it is me a lot of the time, but I still get it's like he has Antonio for like the first 2 hours of the morning. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so much help. Um, but yeah, some people don't get anything. Like
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. Someone was like, I said something about like, yeah, and Adrian was taking Antonio a bath, and I was like with the baby or whatever, and she was like, wait, he bathes Antonio? Like, and I was just like, "Yeah?" Like, I was like, "Not all the time." Like, it's a honestly, it's just like a whoever,
Mhm. Mhm.
"Hey, I need
Has
to
the
do
hands
this. Can
free.
you do this?"
Yep.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
that's just how we've always done it. Would it be nice
Right.
to be like, "Hey, you have every single bath time?" Yeah, but also it's not realistic.
Yeah.
Um, for either party, it shouldn't be that
Right.
way, and I was just like, "Whoa." Like, that one really was just like, "Damn."
I think I saw that somewhere and it was like, tell me if this sounds wrong, but it was like gender incompetence. Just because you are a
Mhm.
male does not make you like, you can't use that as like oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Cause like
Mhm.
sometimes John will catch himself and say, like, I don't want to bathe Bella because it's weird. And I'm like, I did this to the boys and I didn't
Mhm.
think that was weird. I'm their parent and I can
Yeah.
quickly go type of thing. So no, you can't use that as I
Yeah.
can't because I'm a male
Mhm.
and vice
Mhm.
versa.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's a whole. And so I feel like that also, like, always, I think whenever anybody tells us, like, about kids or whatever, what I've learned to be my first response is, like, you need to have kids with the right person,
Yeah,
and, like, your partner makes or breaks your experience, and that starts in pregnancy, and that starts when you're pregnant and goes all the way up until, after, and you have to have grace too, to an extent,
sure.
but if things bother you, like, you need to bring it up, and you just can't. I feel like no men and women, we do what we get away with, right? Or
Mhm,
what we're
mhm,
allowed to
mhm.
get away with
Yep,
until it's called out. And if you feel like you can't call them out, then that's a whole nother problem. But
right.
yeah, for sure, don't let them take the back seat just because.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
from your experience, how has 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3?
I think it was the same thing. I think it was the remembering of what to do and how to do it and all of the, different like, oh crap, I need a I will say I didn't order Jaden's birth certificate until he was probably 2 years old, or maybe 1. I don't remember how old he was, but I was like, "Oh, I need to order that thing." Um, but I honestly, I think it depends on how old the other kids are that you're having going from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3
Mhm.
because the going from 2 to 3 I thought was going to be hard, but I know. I think it was hard because of how much the boys were in
Yeah.
and we were going, but I thought we handled it well because it was like, okay, I didn't want to miss anything. I had
Mhm.
FOMO of like missing stuff, games and stuff. So I made the decision and was like, I want to go. And John was
Yeah.
like, okay, but on the days that we don't have anything, just sleep in. So it was kind of like he'll take the morning time to let me sleep in longer. And
Yeah.
that was helpful. So I don't know. I think the 1 to 2 was the hardest. 2 to 3, I think it would have made a difference depending on their ages.
Yeah.
If it would have,
Yeah, the 3 under 3 wild. We need to get a guest, Nicole on the Whew, I feel like
yeah,
that's super hard,
yeah, yeah.
but just yeah, I think the age gaps do make a big difference,
Yeah. And you know
and
what too? I do want to applaud all the primas and anyone that always takes on anything that they do, and not that you have to rely on other people, but it is always helpful whenever you can have family, and when you don't, especially this prima here, that you're taking on a lot more of a load, I should say, than
Mhm,
the typical, like, hey mom, can you go and pick them up, or hey dad, can you go? It I think when you move to a different city, that takes a toll on, probably has a bigger say in the decision of, like, going from 2 to 3 or 1 to 2,
mhm.
because that is not an option anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, like, we had a little that maybe it was like, there's been a lot of, like, little mini combustions, like, between
Mhm.
Adrian and I, like, between getting the dogs acclimated to seeing 100 dogs a day, because they never saw that before, that,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
it's a whole thing, and with Adrian, like, his frustration builds up with that, like, and then me just, like, it's just literally 24/7, right? Just go, 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 go with the kids, and then, like, getting work situated and, like, having a we haven't we've been here for 8 weeks now. To It's every Friday is our new week, and it's just, like, we haven't gotten a good routine set yet.
Yeah.
Um, and it's been, like, more challenging because he's like it's always, like, go, go, go. It's never like we haven't had our outlets,
Yeah.
we don't have our, he's not working out consistently, I'm not working out consistently, and if
Mhm,
I
mhm.
do, unfortunately, right now, it has to be with the kids if I'm going for a walk, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's a win, and sometimes Antonio will have his, like, meltdown
Yeah.
because, we're out in the world and he's ready for his nap, but he's, like, doesn't wanna sleep in the stroller, like,
Right.
it's just, like, it's hard finding that balance right now.
Yeah.
Um, the Lifetime is not even, like, it's not super far away, but it's, like, almost like a 50-minute drive to get there.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
that's yeah, it's in Coral Gables, it's, like, on the mainland, but
Yeah.
traffic isn't when they say Miami traffic's insane,
Mm.
I see what they mean now.
Because it's,
Because
like, 2 lanes, and there's no, like, freeways
no,
unless you go.
the beach the beach in itself is crazy
Yeah.
madness, like, we live right next to, the causeway, one of the bridges to take you to the mainland,
Okay.
or it takes you through, like, Normandy Island and then another one, so there's, like, 2 small bridges, they're not big,
Yeah.
but 2 little small bridges, and then you're, like, on the mainland, and, like, the traffic here in front of our condo that builds up, starting at 4 o'clock, it will take you probably, like, 15 minutes to go 2 blocks, like,
Yeah.
to get to through 2 streetlights,
Yeah.
and then you're still not where you need to be, and it's just, like, you just hear cars, it's just stopped, it's just
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, here, that's definitely the reason, it's because it's only, like, 2 ways, but even, like, in Miami proper, like, downtown and all the things, like, it's and I guess that's a lot of, like, metropolitan areas, a lot of, like, cities, it's,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
bumper to bumper because there's so many streetlights and whatnot, but
Right.
there was, like, one
Right.
morning where we're gonna go meet one of his relatives for breakfast at 8:30, what should have been, like, a 35-minute drive was literally, like, a 50-minute drive. It
Yeah.
was insane, and a lot of it's just being stopped at stoplights, like,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
even the freeway traffic. I don't know, it's just nuts, but yeah, here on the island, it's crazy, like, nope, you can't drive. You can get in your car from, like, 9 o'clock to, like, 3 o'clock, and then after that, you can't go nowhere till after, like, 7. Like,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to
Or
be
it's almost not
where
worth it.
no, it's not,
Yeah.
like, that's why I'm like, we're so spoiled because now when I'm like, "Oh, I have to get in the car to go somewhere," like, we just wanna
Yeah.
walk everywhere, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a pickup in South Beach, for this marketplace bookshelf that I got, and 5 miles, it took about 40 minutes to get back home. It was
Goodness.
nuts.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, we haven't had establish, to get our outlets.
That's
And
hard.
then
Yeah.
there was like that one Sunday where I was like, and it's always like when it I'm like, I just need to get out for
Yeah.
2. I
Yeah.
was like, I need 2 hours to go do whatever the hell I want to do. And
Mhm.
I can't do that. Then the thing that's hard is because on the weekends, we want the family time. We want to
Yeah.
spend it all together. But even
Right.
me, sometimes I'm like, and then you feel guilty because you're like,
Yeah.
well, I do want to spend that time, but also this is the
True.
time where I can
Yep.
actually get away, step
Yep.
away.
Yeah.
And he also needs quality time with the kids,
Yeah.
like, so I did go to the beach and that was like, but even then my brain was just like not shut off,
Not
but it did
yeah.
feel
Yeah.
nice still, like having that break. So then it had been like 2 weeks since I had taken any kind of like me time while the kids are awake. Right.
Right. Right.
And so that's like, that Friday, I was just like in a horrible mindset, and that's when I had texted that friend or that mom that I had
Oh,
met on
yeah.
the beach at the
Yeah.
park or whatever, which that could be another episode. But anyway, so it's like it's taking like these little mini combustions, and Adrian just said last night, he was like, "Yeah, we just have no outlets. Like we
Yeah.
haven't gotten there yet. We
Yeah.
will get there. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
we
Give
need
it
to just
time. Give it
yeah.
time, and that I think that's the hardest part is letting that time kind of not build up, but at the same time, you're putting so much trust in each other
Yeah.
that that's who you're leaning on for everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can get to a point where, you do need another source rather
Mhm.
than the person that you lay in bed with every night to be that person that hears the brunt of all of it, I guess. Wears all the hats, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And so I was like, "Okay, we'll just take it from here." I feel like maybe I like starting Antonio's like bedtime earlier might help. I was like, because he's waking up at the crack of dawn anyway. Like maybe he
Yeah.
needs to go to bed earlier to give us a little bit more time, to decompress. Because I feel like just like having the even the 8 to 8:30 bedtime. By the time we're like finishing cleaning up the kitchen or what, like you're picking up, and now all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock and you don't have time to just like, that's our time that I could like start watching something, like,
Right. Right.
and so I feel like it would make a big difference with just like a little bit of a like for now, right? And
Yeah.
then of
Yeah.
course, and to get us into that's my problem is getting into bed early
Yeah.
so I can wake up, start the day, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
If I can get up and start the day with him, with us, everybody, we do our, it just makes a
Right.
difference. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where we
Yeah.
talked about, but
Yeah.
kind of segueing a little bit, but that's a little mini catch up slash. How do you know when you're done?
Yeah.
All that to say, maybe a third child is not. No, but yeah. But anyways, let us know. Like, are you one and dones? Or how do you know like you get a lot of people say
How
I
do you
have my
get to
girl
that?
and my boy. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Like, is it the kid that makes you done? Is it There's a lot of factors I know, but like just I guess in the lens of if it was a perfect world, if you had unlimited
Mhm.
funds, if you had this or that, like, like what would your decision be?
Yeah.
And the same, giving them siblings, I feel like is, very like if you're able to, and that's
If you're
something
able to, yeah.
that you and your family your husband want to do. And I think that's always been our thing with three. It's like, you never know. One might be a little off, a little thrown off for the future, but they have to have like each other to rely on. Like
Yeah.
they're their families in the future. And yeah.
Yeah.
So just let us know y'all's thoughts. Let us
Yeah.
know. Um, you know, I feel like I've seen a lot of people on their second, like a lot of people I grew up with on their second babies now. And yeah, I don't know. Like we're all just in our little baby making era, but are we done? Are we having more? What's the general consensus here?
Let
um,
us know what you think, Primas.
yeah.
As always, we always enjoy catching up with y'all and hope you can share us with other Primas. And until next time.
Until next time. Where if you're not following us on TikTok, I think we're almost at 300 followers and on Instagram too. But
Yeah. Yeah.
share us, follow us. But yeah. Well, buddy, until next time. Adios.
Adios.